Hey, I'm Caitlin, and the person interviewing me is Carly, and they are my fiance.
Can you indicate why and how your interest in child psychology developed? What have you done to demonstrate your commitment to this profession?
My interest developed pretty much forever. I've pretty much always known that I've cared about like mental health, but specifically in children, probably towards like the end of high school. And even like within the last couple years in college, I took a course that was about just like mental health and addictive disorders, and we got to a part and I had to watch a movie about like different stances on child psychology and like at what point medical intervention and therapeutic chemical intervention is appropriate, and that really sparked an interest in me that I really like to like see through and try to make a difference in whatever way I can. What was the second part? What have I done to demonstrate
your
my
commitment to this profession?
I'd like to do more. I'll start with that. I want to shadow in like mental health positions. I'd like to do some behavioral health care things. That's why I want to get a master's in the subject of just like generalized psychology, or if I can find somewhere that'll do like a behavioral psychology, that would be awesome. But what I have done, I just live my life in a way that I think is beneficial for like future children who struggle with their mental health, and I think that that's made an impact.
Indicate how and why you chose your major. How has this choice benefited you both personally and professionally?
So originally, when I applied to USF, I applied as a psychology major because I knew I wanted to go into psychiatry. But I'm graduating in 3 years instead of 4 because I had some like dual enrollment credits and stuff. And with the way my credits worked out, I wouldn't be able to graduate in 3 years with a psychology major, so I switched. And to get everything that I need for medical school. So that's why I switched to biomedical science, was so that I could still get my BS in 3 years, and then I'm just gonna focus more on psychology during graduate school instead of during undergrad. And then I picked up a psych minor so I could still like dabble in psychology during undergrad, and it also helps me hit my 42 hours of upper levels without having to just pick things randomly out of the sky. Did I have anything?
What about personally?
Personally, I mean, obviously the rigor of biomedical science is so much higher than what it would have been as psychology. So I do think that that's benefited me a lot, is being able to excel in these academically challenging courses as opposed to what it would have been psychology. So I guess that.
Describe your ideal life in 10 years. What will you be doing? What will your personal life be like? And what will you still be working on?
In 10 years, I will be 30. I would have went to graduate school. I'd have my Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science. I will have a Master of Arts in psychology of some sorts, wherever I end up. And then I will also have completed medical school, ideally, and I will be a resident somewhere doing, hopefully, psychology stuff. So I guess I see myself learning. I see myself learning for the rest of my life. I see myself married and with a bunch of cats. I want to professionally probably do some research in the like medical psychology field. What else was on the question? Personal life be like? What will I be working on? I think I answered all of that.
Describe a time when something negative happened to you or you went through something difficult, but in hindsight can be viewed positively. Explain why.
That wasn't very professional of me. I think something that happened that I viewed negatively at the time was when I quote this story a lot. When I got my first A- in high school, I was a junior in high school. It was in a college course. So I lost my 4.0 GPA. My heart was shattered. I thought the world was going to end. But it taught me a lot about living with OCD. It taught me a lot that my worth is not determined by my grades. It taught me a lot that I can be smart and not have a perfect GPA. I also learned that I should be a little easier on myself, and that's helped a lot. I think if I was still operating under the same pretense that I was before getting that A-, I would be a lot harder on myself, and my mental health would be much poorer. I would be a lot less functional. So that definitely helped me to learn about myself, my goals, and how to be a better person, how to be kinder to myself, and that I probably needed some sort of medical intervention with the disorders that I have, because it's not normal for children to put so much weight on their academics.
Thank you, Bennett.
Yeah, I do too.
How would you describe your leadership style? Describe an example of when you had to adjust your leadership style to address the needs of a group.
So I'm president of my sorority right now, and I think my leadership style is I want to hear everybody's point of view, but I also want to make sure that the people who have like less of a voice are still being heard. So I don't know exactly what you would call that. I don't know like the names of leadership styles, but I want to know everybody's. I don't want to just rule on what benefits me. I said rule, that's kind of funny. But I do want everybody to feel heard. I do want to hear everybody and take everybody into account, and also make decisions with the greater good in mind. Describe an example of when I had to adjust my leadership style. I'm pretty good at adjusting like who I am to protect people and advocate for people, but an example would probably be when a sort of friend of mine and member of the sorority posted something offensive on Instagram, and that's like goes against our sorority's beliefs, but we were unable to have her take it down because of USF's policies on freedom of speech. So that was difficult for me to be able to step back, because I wasn't able to defend the minority that it was coming down on, I guess. So learning to take a step back was interesting for me, because I always have it in me to want to fight to protect everybody, which I know that I can't do, but it is something that I'm learning to work on.
Which do you think is a more important quality for a good health professional? To be an independent thinker or to be a team player?
I think being an independent thinker is very important for health professionals, or even like all scientists in general. The thing that immediately comes to mind when I hear that question is the one rocket that went off, even though they were below the below the temperature that was necessary for one of the pieces of the rocket, and it had like a teacher on it, and it exploded because everybody, it was like herd theory or something, and everybody was just like, oh, someone will speak up, someone will speak up, someone will speak up, and then nobody did, because they all assumed that somebody else would, and then that teacher, that woman, died because no one spoke up. So that's why I feel like being independent, obviously it's important to be a good team player, but if you're a good team player, I feel like you miss out a lot on knowing when to speak up when something's going wrong. But if you are independent and you're strong in your morals and you're like brave enough to stand up, that can save a lot of lives in the long run.
Awesome.
Thank you.